Can we get a chair? Yeah. Come. Come here. Come closer. Come here. Come over here. Mm. How are you today? How are you? Okay. Anthony, you can move behind. Yeah. Yeah. You can try the new cushions. What do you think of this? All came all the way from India. Yeah.
Would only be right and just.
Yeah. Just try and say, oh, okay.
I tried.
Yeah. Dun de zhen zhe wa dan zhong ba yang da ba zo be zang jie re ba da xia su den ba de wa ra jie ba ji den jian ba jie bo de ka lo jur wa la na me ba la da me nam jie dong ba zang jie zhong den de be jia wa xia jia tu ba la jia zhe Chudo jiazu ji dunpa chumden de zhen shekpa da chumpa yang da pa zobe sanje rikpa da xiaosun dewa ra jeba jikden jenpa jebo debe galo jirwa la na meba la da me nam je dunpa sanje chumden de pe jiao Chaze lo chudu jazu cho dunpa chumden de zhenpa da chumpa yang da pa zobe sanje rikpa da jazu denpa dewa Kimba jibu nduwe kalo jirwa la na meba la da me nam je dumba sanje chumden de be jawa jaja dumba la ja chudu jazu je o lama da gombo je zun jambe yang cha ze lo kange lo chen nye chen nye da nam da ra se ve che nye dung che che se che nye je to ga le ba man kanda se be ra ma re men do mo do nye ge ze ve cha zo gun la bo je da ze yan la zhu zhe yang den song cha da ra je cha nye mo nye lo le je cha zhu zhe ze chen do nye nye go che nye chen ze ra je nam te ne da chen sa zhe da se yan den len zo jia ze do we gong cha da ju da chu nye gen de da lu me se jang be yang la de o mo arabazana do marabazana do marabazana do marabazana do marabazana do marabazana do marabazana Omara Bazanada, 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 Omara Omara Bazanada, 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 Omara Bazanada. Omara Bazana di 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 De zenden je jera veze je dalu temo memba rabze kadan denje shonlo doba ye lo de bobe nawa cedo se Joje medo dama rira lenje nyende jambande sanje shindo mede bewai Jogue namda jenla jeba shoy Damba je namanje chugu kala kenze tende ne chedara zamben duja zemala Zavje chöje chabab dosu Endala gana ya daya me Sanje chödan tsoje chonamala Chanchu bado dane jazo Tagi chöje jebe tsonama Jola benje sanje dobara sho sanje chodan soje chonamal chanju bado dane japso che tage chushe jebe chonaman Jola benje sanje dobara sho sanje chodan soje chonamal chanju Tani japso che tagi chöche jebe tsonaman Jola penche sanje dobara sho Good morning. How are you? Good. And how was the week? How was your week? We are now coming to the end of chapter 6. So today we will be able to conclude chapter 6. So we have listened and discussed many techniques and ways to tackle, to counter our anger. We also discuss different ways to, engage with those whom we consider as our enemies or those whom we are not that fond of. So, given all that knowledge, so where are we now?
Still beginners.
If we are still beginner, it's still good because you have already embarked. You are already at the starting point. But if we have not even arrived at the beginner's level, then it's too sad. Yeah. So I'm sure that
you had plenty of opportunity, ample opportunities to practice patience. And I'm sure that many of you have tried your best. So that counts. At least, even if you are unable to apply at that very moment, but even after everything has happened, all that eruption has happened. But at least, if you are able to kind of feel that remorse, or that, oh, I wasn't mindful, I should have been more mindful, I should have handled the situation better. At least that kind of thought is good, because there is a chance that you will behave better the next time when you are in such situation. But if you don't even have that slightest kind of a regret, then I don't know. Anyway, yeah, we are all trying our best. As I mentioned before, the important thing is that we really have to try our best. Even though, remember, I always quote this. What is that? Yoda, is it Yoda's wise word? Do or do not. There is no try. So we have to do it. But I repeatedly mentioned that the best way that I find is really setting up the motivation from the morning. Today, I'm really going to, challenge anger. Today, I will not let myself under the control or influence of my anger. Today, I will practice patience. No matter what, I won't lose my calm. That's very important, I find it. So when you have set that determination, then as the day goes on, you can try to remind yourself of that pledge, that determination. And then there will come a time that you are able to remember that, and then you are able to really adopt that stand, being patient. So that's important. And then for the newcomers, so some of you are wondering, before the prayer we do this prayers. So one of the prayers, the long one with the tune, is the praise to Manjushri. So Manjushri is the emanation of all Buddha's wisdom qualities. So it is embodiment of all Buddha's all wisdoms. So we are pledging Manjushri to grant us a little bit of wisdom so that, we will be able to understand a little bit. So that's the main purpose why we always do this prayer before our class. And then I think some of you have asked me, why is this di, what is this? So that's the main, Manjushri's mantra, the name mantra is Om Arabhaja Na Di. Di is like the main syllable. It's like the seed syllable. So it is said that if you do this, we try to do this one round of mala in one breath. It's like how long you can go. But don't cheat. Some people here. So it's like you go to Madhavasana, go on and on and on. How long you can do that? So this is to receive the, what you call the unforgettable memory, that once you learn something, you will never forget. How wonderful, isn't it, to acquire such wisdom, such memory. So that's the technique to do it. So next time around, see how long you can do. And then we do this mandala offering. We make this. So in the middle there's one, and then you have these four things. So this represents, the middle one represents the Mount Meru. So we are offering Mount Meru and the four continents. Basically we are offering, making offering to the Guru, all that is worthy of offering. So this represents that offering. And then you offer this, and then you request the teacher to part Dharma, to give Dharma teachings. That's the purpose. So now let's get back to our where we stopped. I think this is where we stopped. This very thing is pleasing to the Buddha's heart and perfectly secures the welfare of myself. This will drive away the sorrows of the world, and therefore it will be my constant work. So what is this very thing? That was from last week. This very thing. What is this very thing? Huh?
Patience.
Is it?
Being kind to other beings.
There, you got it. You all failed. Remember we are talking about, pleasing sentient beings, to be kind to sentient beings. So this is like the summary, the main reason. What is this big deal about, taking care of other sentient beings? This is the summary. Because when you are kind to others, other sentient beings, that will please the Buddha. Because Buddha is always concerned about other sentient beings. So when you are kind to others, there's a reason. Remember the example is like the mother. If you are kind to that mother's only son or only child, the mother will be very pleased. Not because you are kind to the mother, but because that you are kind to her only child. So to Buddha, all sentient beings are like Buddha's only child. So when we are kind to others, then there's reason for Buddha to be happy. We can say that, oh, I am pleasing the Buddha. And then because of that, it secures our own welfare. Remember we talked some examples. Can you recall from last class? What things we have discussed? Like workplace. If you are kind to others, what happens? Others will be nice to you. When you are in trouble, when you need help, They are genuinely happy to offer you help. You can rely on anybody. You can ask anybody and they will be more than happy. But if you are such a nasty person at workplace, will others come to your help? No, they will be like, he deserves that. They will be gloating and rejoicing in your downfall or your disaster. So that's what it says. Remember we talked about this will drive away the sorrows of the world. What was example we discussed? Huh? Huh?
Cherishing others.
Yeah.
Self-cherishing to cherishing others.
Yeah, that is the role. Remember we said there will be no world war in the world. At the moment, why we have this war, this exploitation, all this cruelty, all because you don't care about others. You are not kind to others. You ignore others' welfare. This is because you are cherishing yourself. Me first. Everything is for me. Remember we talk about American politics. Those in the position, just to hold on to their power, they will do all kinds of things. They don't care the consequences that will affect other people, as long as I get what I wanted. So therefore, it will be my constant work. Because of these three things, that from now onwards, my main job is to be kind to others. We don't have to, take this and try to meditate. You just go and do and see. Go to your workplace, and if you are kind to others, what happens? I bet your day will be much better. You will be happier. Definitely others will be happy because you are kind to them. And as a consequences, you will be happier. Pena kebe mi gashik kewo mangla nyo che kyang kewo mi kyang rinpo tha nyo kyang shir nyo mi je des. So this is now talking about the benefits. So first through giving an example or an analogy, and then stating the actual benefit. So here it says, so first the example or the analogy. Imagine that the steward of a king does injury to multitudes of people. Those with clear, far-seeing eyes do not respond with violence even if they can. So I have a picture of policeman. When police comes and stops you, even you are right, you won't try to fight the police. Why? Because he or she yields greater power. The justice system may be behind. So here the example is like those ancient days when a king sends somebody, let's say army, So as the person is coming as a, as a soldier or army of that king, even how cruel that person is, a wise person wouldn't engage, wouldn't fight, even if you can, because you know that behind this person, even he looks small and what is the word? Yeah, of course significant, but it's like in physically, it's like you can beat that person, you can overpower them, you can fight them. But because understanding that behind this person, this small person, the king and the whole army is behind them, because of that, a wise person wouldn't fight that person. But of course, if you are not that far-sighted, then you will fight. And then what happens? They can call more people, more army, and then you will be punished. It's not that you are afraid of that immediate person or that particular person, but you think of the power behind them, the ones that are supporting this person. So the police, they say, is a law. We are afraid of the law, so we respect the police. So that's the example. Imagine that the steward of a king does injury to multitudes of people. Those with clear, far-seeing eyes do not respond with violence, even if they can. Even when we are stopped by traffic police, we try to be very pleasant, isn't it? Very nice. Hello, officer, how are you? How was your day? Oh, yes, sir. No, sir. Because you know that it's up to him. Either he find you a hefty one, or he can issue, or say, okay, this is a warning, don't do that. It all depends on, how you react. If you say, no, why did you stop me? I am riding on, finish. Okay, here you go. So that's where we think, oh, if I, at this very now, even if I am not at fault, I know that I'm not at fault. I know that I'm not speeding. There's no reason for him to stop me. But you know that, if I'm nasty, I will lose. For that $200 ticket, you don't want to go to the court and all that. So the best thing is be nice. There's a chance that, okay, he will let you go with a warning. That's what we do. That is if you are a wise person. If you are clever enough to see the long-term consequences. We do that. So this is the example. So now the actual one is, for stewards, after all, are not alone. They are supported by the kingly power. So this is the reason why we do that. Therefore, I will not despise the feeble beings tormenting me. Dedar dijik mayingi kebe tudup deyitu. Tishinnoje nyamchungwa gayang kedu semicha. So therefore, I will not despise the feeble beings tormenting me. So the way we treat that steward of the king, that police officer, so we should also treat the sentient beings, other sentient beings. So when we talk about other sentient beings, all the insects, all that included. So normally our tendency is this: if you feel somebody feeble and lower than you, you tend to be quite rude. But when somebody is higher in status, you tend to be much nicer, isn't it? In India, it is very interesting. So on the traffic, in India traffic, you all know, yeah? So nobody really follows the traffic rule. So if the lane is for 3 cars, there will be 6 cars. Everything's squeezing in there. So that's a common, everybody knows that. But the interesting thing is, there's this kind of a rank there. The nice car, those who car drives, they can bully the, let's say those 3-wheelers, tuk-tuk, yeah. So they will be like, when they come and this thing, even though they are on the right one, they will just scold the 3-wheeler drivers. And the 3-wheelers, when it comes to those cycle 3-wheelers, they will be scolding them for this thing, even though it's there. So there is this now, because you kind of assess, oh, these I can bully them. Oh, there I cannot bully them. Even the police, they will be very quick to stop a motorbike or a 3-wheelers, but if you drive in a fancy car, that's it, you can go. So likewise, that's what we also do. When you see some beggar or some looking very weak and poor, we have no hesitation. We treat them differently. When you see that person has a name, fame, status, wow, completely different. Even though these are same sentient beings. And then when it comes to insects, other sentient beings, animals, insects, ants, we really go after them. Poor fellows. No, when I first went to school in Malaysia, it was kind of a cultural shock. So one day in class, there was so much commotion there. It's like as if, you know what there was? It's a poor cockroach in the classroom. Wow, as if there was a snake or something. But Tibetan, when you see cockroach, of course, we won't be shrieking and running, It's like they were so scared. And then another shock is like, there was one girl, and she was, I guess, treated as hailed as a brave, courageous hero. And she went after the cockroach and then stomped it, squashed it. And it was, oh, I've done it. It's no more. And everybody was like, is approving that one. So, I mean, the Tibetan cultural practice, we won't do that. We won't squash it. But the point is that because it's so feeble, it's so small, so we just squash them. But here, Shantideva was saying that, hey, that is a very short-term thinking. If you are thinking in a long term, they are not alone, They have powerful support behind them. Who are behind them? Their allies are the guardians of health and also the compassionate Buddhas. They are not alone. Don't get deceived by their size. They have their own allies. The first is just guardians of health. How does this relate to? How is the guardians of health their allies? Anybody wants to try?
Results from your actions.
Mm.
Negative actions.
Yeah.
negative results.
Yeah.
Positive actions have positive results.
So at the moment you think that you're so brave, you squash it. But when you die, guardians of hell are waiting for you. Here comes, where is this? Reading their names, your names. Oh, today is coming. Let's wait for them. That's what it means. And also the compassionate Buddhas. So this will really kind of displease. This will not make the Buddha happy. So Buddhas are behind them. Buddhas won't be happy. One of our goals is to please Buddha and Bodhisattvas. So if that is our goal, then the very act that we are engaging in will displease the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Therefore, living beings I will gratify as subjects might placate a wrathful king. Dedarmangi ketumshin simjin namni guvarchas. So if you have a very cruel king, the subjects will try to do anything to placate, to please the king. They don't want to go against that king. They don't want to cause any reason for the king to be angry with you or unhappy or displeased with you. So no matter how unreasonable the demands of that particular king is, if you are in that situation, you will try to do. I'm talking about those days, yeah? When the king rules, when just whatever his words are the law, whatever the king says becomes the law. So during that kind of situation, so the subjects will try to do anything to please, propitiate or to please the king, because they realize, they fear the consequences. They know that if they do otherwise, will have grave danger. It's a great risk to displease that particular king. So likewise, we also have to think of those grave consequences. If we treat others unkindly, then there are these consequences. So fearing the consequences, keeping in the mind what all those consequences. It says, I will gratify other sentient beings. Tedarmangi ketumshin simjin namni guvarcha. Therefore, living beings I will gratify.
Rinpoche, can I share the story?
Please.
I visited India when Rinpoche was at the monastery, and I had arrived by train. And Rinpoche had come to meet me at the train station with a cab, with a taxi driver. So when I got out of Rinpoche, the taxi driver and the parking lot attendant were having this furious argument over the price of the parking. And they were coming to blows, they were completely animated and ready to pounce. And to my horror and aggravation, Rinpoche just went in between the two men and sort of tried to calm down and then made a payment of the parking. I was so worried that Rinpoche would get beaten up because they were just so angry. But that intervention, even though it was just a few seconds, separated the two men from their anger somehow. And and the whole situation just calmed down. And they stopped. And talking to the attendant, he went his way, and cab driver went back into the car. So, of course, I was so worried Rinpoche would get beaten up. But the point is that, what Rinpoche is saying, that you can have a moment of courage and kindness and not take sides and separate the two from their rage. It can become very dangerous consequence. Great story.
So now, so that was an example or analogy, explain the benefits of treating sentient beings kindly. So it was explained through this analogy. So now we are going beyond that analogy. Kyabu tashik chönayang simjin migu chebayi nyawar juba kanyinba nyewe nyoba te chetams. And yet the pains of hell to be endured through making living beings suffer, could these ever be unleashed by all the, how do you read that? Ire of such a king. Ire of such a king. So now we're saying that no matter how cruel that king was or is, it cannot send you to hell realm. Remember, we have this in the, I think, which chapter it is? I think chapter maybe 5. Langje ma tu nyoba yi tena tinte nyoba me. Semje langbo yen dangba narme nyoba cheba tar. Langje ma tu nyoba yi tena tinte nyoba me. So Shantideva in that chapter, that particular chapter, talking about the grave danger of letting our wild mind wander, or not taming, the danger or the consequences of untamed, the potential danger of an untamed mind. So it has, and Shantideva has likened untamed mind or wild mind to a wild elephant. I think more than wild elephant. So if you have a wild elephant, what damage it can cause? It can be very destructive. It can come to your house, it can destroy. Sometimes we see on YouTube that, the elephants, unleashed elephants come on the road and then they destroy the cars, but it can destroy your home. It can even kill you. The worst destruction it can do, the worst harm it can do is to kill us. It cannot do beyond that. Whereas Shantideva says, if we let our mind wander, if we do not have control over our mind, all these things will happen, but it will do more harm. It can bring us to all the sufferings. It can bring us to the animal realms. It can make us born as animals, especially those in the slaughter place. It can make us be born as cockroaches, rats. And then it can even make us or bring us to the Pratha realms, we talk about hungry ghosts. But all this, the hungry ghosts, the hell realms, if you have difficulty really relating to that, just look around. Even in this world, there are many people dying of starvation, dying of thirst. Remember, in some Africa countries, people have no water to drink. People have no food to eat. We live here and these are, it's like impossible. It's happening. Even though we are in 21st century, there are people dying from starvation. So that is similar to the hungry ghost realm. So it doesn't have to be a specific, allocated place. Even here, even on the homeless people, some people go hungry for how many days? We don't know. We have like so many things. Oh, what shall I have for lunch? Oh, I have this for lunch. Oh, I should eat something else for dinner. We have all the choice. But there are people in the world who doesn't even have one same thing to eat. And some people eat the same thing for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner. Some people eat just only one meal, survive on that. Some people go hungry for days. That is like hungry ghost realm. So if we let our mind wander too freely, we may be born as one of those who suffer hunger and starvation. And then hell realms, we talk about hot hell, cold hell. There are so many now. The wildfire is very common. People die in fire. How many people, how many insects die in fire? That is like experiencing hot hell. You are being burned alive. And then I think you know some places they just fry live animal. The oil is boiling, and then they just put animal is not dead, yeah. They just put in there. And then I see on this, I think must be National Geography or something, clips from there. It's like eagles. They hunt like, I don't know, rats or squirrels. They just eat alive. And then animals, ram. Like there was this buffalo calf being attacked and eaten alive by, I think it's wild dogs or hyena, is it? Hyena, is it? Hyenas. It's not dead, yeah. While alive, it's being taking out all the internal things, eating. So at the moment, yeah, we feel we are quite safe. But if you stop breathing, that's it. You could be, the next moment, you could be born as one of those animals. So that's, Shantideva was saying that it's because of the untamed mind. Here, Shantideva was making the same point. If we fail to take care of sentient beings, if we are so cruel and unkind to others, then this will happen. And yet the pains of hell to be endured through making living beings suffer, could these ever be unleashed by all the, ire of such a king? So no matter how cruel the king can be, he cannot unleash such suffering and pain. But on the other hand, if we treat the sentient beings unkindly, if we fail to, practice patience, if we display our anger, if we let ourselves under the influence of anger, then it can bring us to it can unleash unimaginable pain and suffering. So here Shantideva was saying that on the one hand, there is these consequences, negative consequences, that even the cruelest of the kings cannot unleash. But if you are cruel and unkind to sentient beings, this can happen. And then on the other hand, Gyabuttashi gunaya semjen guwar chebayi tobar juwa kanyinba sanje nijin misitos. On the other hand, and even if that king were pleased, enlightenment he could not give to me. For this will only be achieved by bringing happiness to beings. So we have talked about the negative consequences of being rude, unkind to sentient beings. Now, on the other hand, there are also benefits beyond what we have discussed through that analogy. So here it says, yes, you try to placate, you try to please the king. And if the king is very pleased, what is the best the king can do? Maybe he will reward you with all kinds of wealth. Maybe he will give you some special position. That's all he could do. Will he grant us enlightenment? No. Even good rebirth, he cannot guarantee that, let alone nirvana and enlightenment. But what will guarantee us? Even the highest attainment, the enlightenment, is taking care of others, taking care of sentient beings. For this will only be achieved by bringing happiness to beings. So if you make others happy, if you are kind to other sentient beings, then there is a possibility that you can ensure a good rebirth, you can achieve the liberation from this existence, and even you can become Buddha. You can even achieve the state of Buddhahood. So that's why it says going beyond that analogy. Hey, here you go. Okay, it's tea break now.
Someone come over with a drone?
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit of chai. No, and this, thank you.
What is it? Garage to meet him. Why aren't we going to meet here?
That's a question for Rinpoche.
Counting down.
No, I'm looking at the picture. I like that picture. Now I should have that picture on. You ready? I don't want to start with
Well, wait, Seth wants to ask a question
Yeah.
first.
I should have supposed to sit down.
Nice. You get better at that.
That means one more cookie. Needs one more cookie. Who wants a cookie? I love it. Thank you, Rinpoche.
Okay.
Rinpoche, Beth had a question.
Uh-huh. Go ahead. Your question?
Yep, you had a question?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not something silly. I just wondered why we were fixing up the garage to meet him when we have this house.
Very good question. What do you think?
I think it's a better space. It's
Yeah.
easier to, in case of a fire, to get out safer.
Yeah, so like this one, if the group is like this, we have like 10 people, it's very comfortable. But if we have more than that day, during the open day, we have like, I don't know, 40, 50 people, 80 people, it was very crowded. So normally I teach to Tibetan as well, so their group is bigger. So when we moved to other places, at that time, Gyudu Center, they didn't have their teacher. So we were able to use their venue. So all the classes, the Tibetan classes, the classes in Tibetan were held at Gyudu Center.
Okay.
And then the Gyudu teacher came. They started their own classes. So we had no place. So that's why at the moment, Tibetan classes are only online because we couldn't accommodate people. And then we wanted to do retreats. Remember the first early years, we did every semester, end of semester, we planned to do retreats, and I think we had 2 retreats. All that was done at Gyudu Center. So now they have their own program. We cannot ask them to cancel their classes so that we can have a retreat. We cannot ask that. So here we cannot have retreat. Some retreats involve doing prostrations. There's no space. Even if here, all of you here, if we have to do prostrations, it's a bit tight. So that place is for that purpose, so that we can accommodate more people, we can do more retreat, we can even conduct workshops for it doesn't have to be a Buddhist, but those who are just want to come and attend the workshops.
Oh, okay.
Then we have place there.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's the reason. So where are we now? So now we are coming to the end. So Shantideva is summarizing the main points, the benefits in kind of a three, shall I say three, basically summarizing the benefits. So there are mainly two benefits: ultimate benefit and temporary benefits. So here it goes. Simjin gule jungwai maon sanje Drupa sho. No need to mention future Buddhahood, achieved through bringing happiness to beings. Beings, others. Here means others. So what is the ultimate goal? Ultimate benefit is that if we provide or give happiness to others, then we will achieve Buddhahood. That is our ultimate goal. We will be able to achieve our ultimate goal by taking care of others, being kind to others, not losing our temper or not being angry at others. That's the ultimate goal. And how can I not see that glory, fame, and pleasure even in this life will likewise come? So temporary, of course, ultimate goal takes time. But even in this life, if we take care of others, we will achieve all these benefits, other benefits. Basically saying that all the obstacles will be kind of removed, and all the what you call the conditions, the good conditions will come together. Can you relate to that? How taking care of others, how being kind to others can bring all this, can remove obstacles. That's very easy to understand. I told you about the workstation. If you are kind to others, your colleagues, all will be your friends. So when you have to do something in relation to your work, you can approach anybody. All that obstacles, there's no obstacle, there's no barrier. It's like, oh, I can approach this. Let's say if you are not kind to that particular person, if you need help from this person, there's a barrier now. You cannot approach that person. Even with you being thick-skinned, if you approach that person, there's no guarantee that that other person will provide you the help. Whereas if you have been kind to them, more than happy, it's like waiting for opportunity to repay the kindness. At the first hearing of, oh, can you have, oh yeah, sure, they will be like that. So you can see that all that obstacles, all that barrier is gone. And then condition, of course, everybody is willing to. Even just going to the office, you look forward to go to place, that working place. Because everybody is smiling. You can feel that wife. Whereas if you are a nasty person, the moment you enter, let's say if you are you're boss, if you are a kind boss, they will look forward for you to arrive in the office. They can feel that kindness wife. Whereas if you are a cruel, nasty boss, the minute you enter, the whole room fills with nervous, the dread, the anxiety, that kind of wife. So you see why. And it's really is for you. If you're kind to your colleagues, you are happy to go to work, isn't it? Everybody will be welcoming you. And if you, let's say, if you didn't show up for work, it's like, hey, what happened to him? There's concern. People will show concern. So that's what Shantideva is saying. You have to take care of others. You have to be kind to others. Then all this, remember His Holiness always says this, we want to be selfish. But His Holiness says that you have to be wisely selfish. So you take care of others. Then it automatically takes care of you. So that's the wise way of being selfish. You are doing for your own thing, but you be kind to others. Being kind to others will fulfill that selfish goal. You will be happier. So it says that temporary goal. How can I not see the glory, fame, and pleasure? Even in this life will likewise. If you are a nasty person, people will create rumor, scandal. If you are a kind person, very kind, and if they really like you, even if they hear something, some scandalous things, which will affect your fame, they will try to kind of hide it, isn't it? That all depends on how the other person is. How can I not see that glory, fame, and pleasure, even in this life will likewise come? So basically saying that you will benefit from that ultimate goal as well as temporary benefit, ultimate benefit, and you will experience that ultimate benefit as well as temporary benefit. Oops, there's one more. Oh, did I finish that one? Yeah, so okay, let's go back to this one. So I think we have listened to one of this finding, the TED show on TED show. So this is a very famous experiment. It's a longitudinal study. So normally longitudinal is like 10 years, 20 years, but this is a very, very long duration, long period of time. So here it says that the world's longest running studies of adult life and human happiness. So over the course of 9 decades, it's like 3 generations. So what they find? So they have been following and tracing those participants, their people, their children, all this. The one main finding is that close relationships are the secret ingredients for a happy life. Not the wealth, nor the fame, not even your IQ. The only thing that matters is having a close-knit relationship. So how can we foster or develop close relationship? Through anger? Through being impatient? No. Being kind, being tolerant, being taking care of, being kind to others, being putting others' welfare before you. If you only have this thing, me first, it's very, very difficult to have this close relationships. So this is what science says. Science is catching up with Shantideva, isn't it? So, please, remember this. It doesn't have to be a big thing in your family, with your partners, with your children, with your family. Oh, since I want happy life, and Shantideva says this, and then the science also says this, so I should work towards forming or developing close relationships. And then ask yourself, how can I do that? My being selfish, will it help to form such close-knit relationship? No. Remember, you may have some group of friends, but one of them is like very selfish, always thinking about himself. Then when you organize something, you want to exclude that person, isn't it? And you sometimes, you want to exclude. Of course, you cannot say that. But there is this, desire, there's this feeling that we don't want him or her. So imagine if you were that person. If others were like, oh, I don't want her or him to come to our party, our gathering, our reunion. So you don't want to be that person. So if you don't want to be that person, so don't obsess with your selfish goals. Be kind, take care of others. Be patient, be tolerant. Don't lose your cool.
I was once sitting in a group of very close friends,
Mm.
and it occurred to me at that time, this a few years ago, that I said, it is the kind people that I remember the most.
Exactly.
And the others just don't,
Mm.
they're not even there.
Yeah,
So,
you are right, actually right. And I have this, when I was in school, I was in boarding school, I was young, so I'm away from my parents, and I was very poor, no money, but I still remember that one of my uncles, who one time we were going somewhere else, and I met him there. Somehow he recognized me and he gave me like, I think 10 rupees or something. I never forget that. And I haven't met, I don't know, maybe I have met him later once or twice, but not someone that I spent so much time. But that never left, or shall I say, it left delible impression. So you are right. So when somebody is kind, especially when you are in need, when you are desperately, like those days, if somebody gives you 10 rupees, there's somebody out there. If somebody gives you, hi, is that Michael?
Hello.
Hi. Oh, come, please join us. Yeah, so 10 rupees was so precious those days. So you remember, so if you are kind to other person, they will remember you. Yes.
You say something about not including including someone else, that's kind of challenging for me because we have a common friend who is so loud in the parties. So, that a lot of people are like, she is so loud. So then everyone becomes so loud because she is just really loud. So I tend to like, I don't want her in my party.
Yeah.
Because I just want peace. How do you approach that?
Just kick her out. Yeah. I don't know.
Actually, we were speaking about this. It was funny. And I said, this gal should be the first one to be invited from what we've learned because she is the one that is requiring us to reach a higher standard. She's requiring us to, as people, be more giving and loving and generous. And she should be the first one to be invited. That's so hard to put into practice. But we remember our teachings. But it's still a struggle. It's a journey.
I still couldn't, so I
But you didn't exclude. Did you exclude or you did not?
planning to exclude.
Oh. Okay, so go back and go through these slides again and then come back.
Revisit chapter 6.
Yeah, revisit chapter 6 and then then tell me what you have decided.
Right.
And then you can take this an opportunity to practice patience. Okay, there she is. Okay, so precious gem. Thank you so much. So this is the last slide, last verse of chapter 6. 콜제 섭의 제속 등 내매 바다 자바이 신도 유링 초와 등 콜교회 대개 톱스. So in order to achieve that ultimate goal, we have to take many rebirths. So this is talking about that one. Even during those prior rebirths, the consequences or the ripened result of being kind to others, treating others kindly, is that for patience in samsara brings such things. While we are in samsara, while we are repeatedly taking these various lives in samsara, we will be able to experience these great things as beauty, health, good renown. The beauty, we always say in Sebe and Zeshin, Kewo Dambalas. So this is one of the benefits. Can you relate how is beauty in a very simple context? Beauty is related to being patient. So let's say
face is all shaped up and tight and unpleasant to look at.
yeah. So you haven't seen me when I'm in rage. Then you tell me. Yeah. So we spend so much money, isn't it, to look nice. People go for cosmetic surgeries, do what's that? Botox, is it? Botox, and all this, what do you call those cosmetic skin cares. anti-wrinkle, I don't know what that is. So expensive. You apply all that, you go to a gathering, and then you lose your cool. Before that one, you look so pretty and nice. And then when the rage comes, wow, everybody is like, it turns into such a scary face. So from that very, experience, we can say that it is kind of anti-beauty, is it? Health. I think there are so many research, I think, that has established that angry person has more likelihood to have heart attack or heart disease, or I don't know what else. A calm person less likely to develop all this, the physical illness. Good renown is the fame, isn't it? Good name. If you are a kind person, everybody talks about it. Oh, he's a very kind person. Instead of, talking about your downsides, everybody will say, oh, he's such a kind person. Even if you have other negative qualities, they will say, oh, he's like this, like that. But he's a very kind person. Its fruit is great longevity. I think I don't know whether there's a research to show that the calmer person lives longer, but if there is correlation between an angry person and developing the higher chance of developing heart conditions, then definitely you can say that, yeah, this suggests that those who are calmer can live longer. We all want to live long, isn't it? Nobody wants to have a short life. So I think instead of taking all that vitamin or whatever it is, maybe this is a better vitamin, isn't it? Every day practice patience and get of course it is not easy to completely overcome your anger, but at least try to reduce in terms of frequency, terms of intensity. Then better, it's good for your health. Of course, mentally we know that is better. Nobody is happy when they are angry, isn't it? Kolo Gyurbe Teke Tops, the vast contentment of a universal king. So this is in relation to if you are an emperor or something. If you are a kind king, the neighboring kings are less likely to attack you. And your subjects, you don't have to impose respect to you. They will automatically respect you and follow your advice. And here in the commentary it says that then they will be able to introduce laws that are according to Dharma. Let's say he can teach people or follow abiding from, let's say, 10 non-virtues. They will follow the example. So here in Nagarjuna's, one of Nagarjuna's texts, so he says, Semnye tundu yeda su tunyen namba tumengwe, semjen namdi nyongwa kang, teni semjen nöle chung, tegum pensun, degba dang, sirwa sirwa bayi tunyeni dobar kashin seme do tene semjen le chung semjen le jung shebar cha ngobu kungi pen dak shing ranglu shin do songwar cha semjen namla nöbani tukshin tewe bebe pangwar chas. So basically, yeah, it's the same thing, that all that suffering and pain that we experience in various life, it is actually a result of harming others. So thus, in the end, the conclusion is that we have to know that good things are because of taking care of others. Those unpleasant experiences are a result of harming others. So understanding, realizing this, what we should do is, when it comes to others, try to help them with any material possessions or whatever you can. Help them. And in terms of harming others, it says that it's like as if they were your own body. We take care of our body. When it comes to our body, it is so precious. We try our best to take good care of our body. So the way we take care of our own body, Shantideva was saying that take care of others. The way we avoid poisons, it says avoid harming others. So that's what Nagarjuna says. So this is I was using Gedzab J's commentary. So at the end of that chapter, so Gedzab Rinpoche composed his own kind of summary. So it says, Chinso Gyawa Gebar Komna Yang Kongju Meji Jombar Chebena Yang Dan Yang Do Sube Top Gede Trowe Goga Chungse Yemi Jas Dube Tsiksu Cheba Wus. Chinso is all that the perfect those practices of 6 perfections, the perfection of as engaging in the practice of generosity and all that. All those virtues that we have cultivated for eons can be destroyed can be burned down by the flames of an instant anger. As such, again and again, we must develop this fortitude of patience and make sure that no opportunity, no chances of anger arises within us. So that's the final conclusion or advice. What more can I say? Isn't it? So that's about it. And then we have final class on the, was it 24th or something? And then we will go through kind of a revision. We will just try to summarize the whole chapter in one session. And there will be exams.
Diplomas?
Yeah, after that, if you pass, definitely you will get a certificate.
Flying colors?
Depends on you whether you get flying colors or not. It's up to you. Okay, any questions? If not, we can say the concluding.
Short mandala offering, the first verse on page 4, and then the concluding verses prayers on starting on page 6.
Dhamma rira lenje nyende jamba de sanje shingdo meide bewa ye jogun namda shenla jebara sho rana mendala ganaya daya me Rinpoche manje banan je joje keba nyamba meba ya kone kondo pewara sho Koze rabden je namga jele jojo yeba da lozan tembe dreme zazomanje drove mese tadu ne juru je Korwe jengamzo bendan dewa malu jongwe ne chere sewan tenzin jazo ye shabe sede bado tenjoro je Chedara gemba da gundo zambo deyan dejendo deda gunge jesu talum je yawan deda tamje rabdo ngo Jawa damje je ngowa gala jodo ngaba de tage geve tsawan de gunja jeje rabdo ngowa je. Okay, thank you.